In a culture that extols productivity and activity, laziness is often perceived as a vice, a lack of willpower, or even a moral failing. We feel that if we do nothing, we are wasting time and missing out on opportunities. However, if we look closely at the psychology of laziness, it becomes clear that this phenomenon is much more complex than it seems at first glance. Behind the apparent inaction, there may be deep reasons, from biological needs to psychological defense mechanisms. Understanding these reasons allows us not only to overcome laziness, but also to use its signals to benefit our well-being and effectiveness. This is seeing unlimited greatness. Laziness is not always a sign of weakness. Sometimes it is a vital signal from the body or psyche that requires attention. Ignoring it, we risk facing burnout, stress, and loss of motivation. Our task is to learn to decipher this message and transform inaction into conscious choices that bring real benefits. What is laziness really? The traditional definition of laziness as an unwillingness to work often overlooks its multifaceted nature. From a psychological point of view, laziness can be a signal of fatigue and the need for rest. The most obvious reason: if the body is exhausted physically or mentally, it will resist any activity. This is a natural defense mechanism that prevents exhaustion, a result of lack of motivation. If a task seems meaningless, boring, too difficult, or does not correspond to our values, the brain may refuse to do it, perceiving it as a waste of energy. A manifestation of fear, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of change, new responsibility, fear of criticism, or even fear of change can paralyze a person, forcing him to avoid action. Doing nothing becomes a safe zone where there is no risk of failure or condemnation, a symptom of perfectionism. If a task seems so large and requires such perfect execution that a person is afraid to start, or is afraid that he or she will not be able to do it perfectly, he or she may put it off indefinitely, preferring inaction to the risk of imperfection. A way to cope with overload. In conditions of information or work overload, when the brain is bombarded with too many tasks and stimuli, it may switch off to protect itself from excessive pressure. Inaction becomes a passive protest or an attempt to reduce the load, a sign of lack of clarity. If there is no clear plan of action, a large, vague task may seem overwhelming, and laziness arises as a reaction to uncertainty and a lack of understanding of where to start. A consequence of depression or burnout, chronic laziness, apathy, loss of interest in things that used to bring pleasure, a constant feeling of fatigue, sleep disturbances. All these can be clinical symptoms that require professional help. How can laziness be useful? Contrary to popular belief, laziness is not always destructive. It can play an important role in our lives. Time for recovery. Sometimes laziness is simply the body's need to reboot and consolidate resources. It is during moments of inactivity that the brain can process information, consolidate memories, solve complex problems at a subconscious level, and generate new ideas, the so-called diffuse thinking. This is the time for passive learning and integration of experience. Source of creativity. Many brilliant ideas, insights, come to us not during hard work, but during rest, walks, or simple, monotonous activities. Laziness creates space for free wandering of the mind, which contributes to unconventional thinking and the search for innovative solutions. Indicator of true needs and priorities. If you constantly put off a task, perhaps you do not really need it, or it needs to be reviewed, delegated, or it does not correspond to your deepest values. Laziness can highlight the discrepancy between your actions and your true desires or long-term goals. Burnout prevention. The ability to switch off and do nothing when necessary is an important self-preservation mechanism that prevents chronic stress, exhaustion, and burnout, preserving our mental and physical resources for more important tasks. Developing mindfulness. Mindful laziness, when you purposefully allow yourself to do nothing without feeling guilty, can be a form of meditation. It helps you slow down, listen to yourself, your thoughts and feelings, and develop presence in the present moment. Reevaluation of values. Periods of inaction can push us to reevaluate our priorities, realize what is truly important, and discard what only takes away energy without real return. How to overcome laziness with benefit. To defeat laziness, you don't need to fight it with force or drive yourself. It is important to understand its root and use this signal to more consciously manage your energy and time. Diagnosing the true cause. Before kicking yourself, stop and ask, why exactly now do I not want to do this? What is hidden behind this reluctance? An honest answer to this question is the key to the solution. Sufficient and high-quality rest. If the reason is fatigue, give yourself a full rest. Get enough sleep, take a walk in the fresh air, spend time with loved ones, take up a hobby that really relaxes. Sometimes this is all you need to restore your strength. Break down into small steps. If the task seems overwhelming due to its scale, break it down into tiny, easily achievable steps. Taking the first step is often the hardest. The elephant first, then piece by piece, or Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest. Principle can be very effective. Finding motivation and meaning. If a task seems meaningless, find how it is connected to your big goals, dreams, or values. Visualize the end result and benefits. If the connection is not obvious, perhaps you should give up on the task or delegate it. Fighting fears. Identify your fears of failure, success, condemnation, and work with them. Start small. Practice imperfect first steps. Celebrate small victories. Seek support from trusted people or a psychologist. 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it right away. This helps fight procrastination and the feeling of piling up small but annoying tasks. Reward for completion. Promise yourself a small but pleasant reward after completing an unpleasant or difficult task. This creates positive reinforcement and increases motivation. Create a positive environment. Eliminate distractions. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs. Organize your workspace so that it inspires and promotes concentration, not depresses. Structured procrastination. If you feel like you just need to do nothing, allow yourself to do it. But do it consciously, without guilt, with the goal of rebooting. This can be a time for reflection, soulful reading, a walk, or just contemplation. Turn off gadgets and just be in the moment. Use this time to complete lower priority but still useful tasks if complete inaction is not possible. Seeking professional help. If laziness becomes chronic, accompanied by constant fatigue, apathy, loss of joy, sleep disturbances, or other symptoms, it may be a sign of depression, burnout, or other mental conditions. In this case, do not hesitate to contact a psychologist, psychotherapist, or doctor. Laziness is not an enemy, but often a disguised ally that is trying to tell us something. By listening to its signals and responding to them correctly, we can not only increase our true productivity, but also improve the quality of life, achieving harmony between activity and necessary rest. Refusing to harshly condemn ourselves for laziness and accepting it as part of human nature allows us to transform this vice into a valuable resource for self-knowledge and growth.
If you'd like to support the channel and help us keep pushing forward, there are links in the description where you can donate. Every contribution helps us reach more people, do more good, and keep this mission alive. There's also a store down below where you can grab something for yourself, or even better, a gift for someone you care about. It's a simple way to spread love and let someone know they matter. We're all just trying to grow, to become better, to rise above the noise and step into who we're really meant to be. And I truly believe change is possible, the kind of change that creates a ripple effect and helps others see the beauty still left in this world. This channel is about real growth, real transformation, and I'm here to give you a front row seat to what that looks like. Raw, honest, and grounded in purpose. God is within all of us, and my goal is simple: to reflect that light as clearly and powerfully as I can, for you and for the world around us.